Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's press conference with the Department of Education and Early Childhood Development Minister Bill Hogan regarding Policy 713. So to start things off, Minister Hogan will share some opening remarks. Nous allons commencer par un mot du ministre Bill Hogan, and after his remarks, we will move on to questions. Nous poursuivons ensuite avec les questions. So Minister Hogan, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. And today I'm pleased to share the revisions that have been made to the three sections of Policy 713. The revised policy will come into effect on July 1st, 2023. Aujourd'hui, je tiens à vous faire.
Today I'm pleased to share the revisions that have been made to three sections of Policy 713.
The changes, I'd like to thank the hundreds of Nouveau-Brunswickers who have shared their thoughts during these consultations. Avant de vous donner une
Before I provide an overview of the changes, I would like to thank the hundreds of New Brunswickers who shared their thoughts during consultations.
I met with parents, families, students, teachers, the Child and Youth Advocate, and other key stakeholders. And we received feedback from hundreds of individuals or groups who wrote submissions. Thank you all for taking the time to share your perspectives and recommendations. We are improving three aspects of the policy to ensure that it is clear and responds to the feedback that we received from the consultations, while reflecting the role parents play in their child's life and education. C'est pourquoi nous améliorons.
This is why we're improving three aspects of the policy to ensure it is clear and responds to the feedback received during the consultations, while reflecting the role parents play in their child's life and education.
Self-identification. The first section we reviewed relates to self-identification. If a transgender or non-binary student under the age of 16 wishes to change their preferred pronoun or name for official record keeping, parental consent will be required. If it is not possible to obtain this consent to talk to the parent, then the student will be encouraged to work with the appropriate professionals that we have in our school system, such as school social workers, school psychologists, guidance counselors, depending on the sector that we're talking about, to receive support if they so desire, because we recognize that this is a challenging time in the life of a young person. Lorsqu'il n'est pas possible d'obtenir le
When it is not possible to obtain the consent to talk to the parent, the student will be directed to the appropriate professional, such as a social worker. It's important to see the difference in between workers that we have. We have social workers who work with us in the education system. A school psychologist for support. It's important that we continue to support our students. This is a time of their life that is very important and can be complicated. And as we always do, we provide help to the students.
Their gender identity and or their name are supported, and that we work with them to help them have that conversation with their parents if and when they're ready. Il faut s'assurer que les élèves qui veulent
I want to ensure that students who want to change their gender identity and or their name are supported, and that we would work with them to help them to have that conversation with their parents if and when they're ready.
will consult with transgender or non-binary students who are 16 or over to determine their preferred first name and pronouns. The preferred first name and pronouns will be used consistently in the ways that the student has requested. Under the policy as it currently stands, if an elementary student changes their gender and their gender identity and name, the school is required to make a plan to support the change at school, but it is in essence hidden from parents unless the child gives permission to share that with them. We believe that is fundamentally wrong to not share this information with parents if we are using it on a daily basis. It puts teachers in a really challenging position when we recognize that teachers hold a position of public trust. We understand that the impact on a child's mental health is significant, and that we need the support from our partners and our stakeholders in education, which primarily are our parents. We must respect parents and the role that they play in their child's life in education. Parents are in the best position to support their child through the majority of life changes, like a change in gender identity. Nous tenons à soutenir les enfants et leurs familles durant.
We want to support children during this period, and it is important, in fact, to offer a support to youth and help them to have the conversations with their parents if and when they're ready to do so.
The ability to speak confidentially to a teacher and to get the help they need from a supportive professional while they work through big issues such as changing their gender identity, or even puberty is a big issue. We will never be outing children, and the goal is to not create an environment where a child will be inadvertently outed, because that's not what we want, and I don't think that that's appropriate. We are and always have been dedicated to creating a safe and welcoming environment where children are free to be themselves. Some avant toujours été déterminés.
We are and always have been dedicated to creating a safe and welcoming environment where all children are free to be themselves.
Extracurricular participation. The second section of the policy that was reviewed relates to extracurricular participation. La deuxième partie de la politique qui a été révisée porte.
We want to ensure students can participate in curricular, co-curricular, and extracurricular activities.
Co-curricular and extracurricular activities that are safe and welcoming. This has not changed. Nous voulons nous assurer que les élèves puissent.
We want to ensure that students can participate in curricular, co-curricular, and extracurricular activities that are safe and welcoming. This hasn't changed.
Closely with the appropriate sports associations that are doing a wonderful job in ensuring that the students can participate in the sport that they identify with. And we don't intend to interfere with that because they're already doing a wonderful job. Universal spaces.
Un espace universel, la dernière section de la politique a été examinée concernant les salles de toilette et les vestiaires universels.
Politique qui a été concernant les.
The last section of the policy was reviewed related to the universal washrooms and changing areas.
Spoke with. Told us that both accessibility and location of private universal washrooms and changing rooms in schools pose challenges. They reiterated that they are important to have in every school, and I completely agree. We have added a line to the policy that states that private universal changing areas will be available in all schools. Nous avons ajouté une ligne à la politique.
We have added a line to the policy that states that private universal changing areas will be available in all schools.
This is what we heard from students. We will bring clarity to this topic and it strengthens Policy 713. Cet ajout répond directement à ce que.
This is a direct response of what we heard from students. This will bring clarity to this topic and strengthen the policy.
July 1st, 2023. So as I stated in the start, it was about ensuring consistency and clarity while respecting human rights and the safety of all students. I am confident that the changes implemented will achieve these goals while bringing much-needed clarity. Je suis persuadé que les changements proposés.
I'm confident the changes implemented will achieve those goals while bringing much-needed clarity.
Those we consulted, including parents and families, brought forth very real issues and shared their experiences. I'm confident the revised sections of this policy will ensure consistency in its application and will support our students, creating a safe and learning environment. La politique révisée va permettre d'assurer.
This policy will bring forward, in fact, that will help students to create a safe and safe environment for learning.
New Brunswickers now know this policy better than any other education policy. That in and of itself will lead to a more consistent implementation of the policy across our province and will help ensure a safe and welcoming environment for all of our students, in particular for the LGBTQ community, because it's important that we recognize that our marginalized communities need protections and their safety is ensured and their rights to be as they are exist. Thank you. Merci de votre écoute.